People keep asking me why my fries are so crispy and full of flavor. Right here, I've got 3 large potatoes, already peeled. I'm going to cut them into strips, just like this. Now I'm placing the potato strips in a bowl, covering them with water, and using my hands to give them a good rinse. We'll let them soak for about 20 minutes. After that, I drain the water and dry the potatoes really well with a clean towel. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a big shout out. Today's shout out goes to Nonhlan Lamsiza from South Africa. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Next, I'm transferring them to a bowl and adding 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, black pepper to taste, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and 3 tablespoons of wheat flour. Then we mix everything together until the fries are evenly coated. In a separate bowl, I'm making a quick dipping sauce with half chopped onion, 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of mustard, and a pinch of black pepper. Just give that a good mix. Now I've got a pot with hot oil. Once it's heated up, I'm adding the fries and frying them until they're golden and crispy. Guys, these fries come out so crunchy and delicious. You have to try this. Make them at home and let me know how it goes. I'm sure you're going to love them. When they're done, I transfer them to a plate Tell me, how do you make fries at home? I'd love to hear your method. Let's give them a try with the sauce we made. By the way, do you have a secret for getting your fries super crispy? I'd love to hear it. Just wrap the chicken in foil, a genius trick no one teaches. We'll need 2 chicken breasts. I'll drizzle some olive oil on top. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and spread well on both sides to season. Now I'll wrap it with foil, fold the edges, and place it inside the air fryer. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Jennifer Miller from Austin, Texas. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. We'll leave it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes. After that time, we'll take it out, place it on the cutting board, and open carefully because of the steam. This recipe turns out incredibly delicious. Make it at home and then come back to tell me what you think. I'm sure you and your family will love it. Now I'll cut the chicken breasts into smaller pieces. Done that, let's move on to the next step. In a pan with a bit of hot oil, I'll add 1 chopped onion, 3 chopped garlic cloves, and let it saute. I'll add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and mix well. We'll add 1 cup of heavy cream and let it come to a boil. I'll add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and stir. Now we'll put the chicken into the pan and mix it with this wonderful sauce. We'll finish by adding parsley on top to taste. It gives a super special touch to our recipe. Tell me, what's your best chicken recipe? I'd love to know. This sauce will be delicious and pairs perfectly with our chicken.
I added egg to canned tuna and was blown away by the result. Learned this from a 5-star chef. I'm gonna start by adding 1 egg to this 120-gram can of tuna. Then I'll transfer it to another bowl. Don't worry, we're only using a few ingredients. I'm adding a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of chili flakes, a teaspoon of fried garlic. And I'm also adding 1 more egg. Now I'll mix it all together. No rush. You're gonna fall in love with the flavor of this recipe. The taste is amazing. When you try it at home, send me a pic of how it turned out. Alright, I've mixed it well enough. In a pan, I'll pour in some olive oil. Then I'm adding 1 chopped onion. Keep stirring while it cooks. Once it starts turning golden, you're good to go. That onion smell? So good. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ingredients. Goes with just about anything. Now I'll pour the tuna mix right on top. Spread it out evenly with a spoon. Oh, before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can give you a shout out. Today's shout out goes to Jason Miller from Austin, Texas. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. I bet you're finding this super easy to follow. I tried to break everything down step by step so you won't have any trouble making it. Now I'll cover it and let it cook for 10 minutes. After that, I'll flip it over using a plate so it can cook on the other side. But first, let's take it up a notch. I'm gonna add some shredded mozzarella. I love cooking with mozzarella, so I'm being generous with it, but you can add as much or as little as you want. Look how pretty it's already looking. This dish will look amazing on the table. I'll sprinkle some oregano on top to finish it off. This is gonna be incredible. Now I'll cover it again and let it cook for another 5 minutes. And look at that! I gotta say, the smell alone is one of the best parts of this recipe. I made this yesterday for some friends and they loved it so much, they begged me to come here and show it to you. Now it's time to cut and plate it. The best thing about this recipe is that you can make it in no time with just a handful of ingredients. That's why it's become a go-to in my house. It's so easy that even if you're not that confident in the kitchen, you'll still be able to make this delicious meal. This one's for anyone who loves quick and easy recipes without sacrificing flavor. Every ingredient was picked with taste and nutrition in mind. Perfect for anyone trying to eat a little better without giving up on flavor. It's one of those dishes. Once you try it, you won't forget it. You'll see that you don't need to spend hours in the kitchen to serve up something amazing. Go ahead and try it out.
I discovered the best homemade ice cream recipe in the world. Only 3 ingredients. Add 3 1/3 cups of well-chilled heavy whipping cream to a bowl. With the help of a mixer, beat the cream very well until it stiffens. Notice that the result is a very creamy whipped cream. To this, add 1 1/4 cups of cocoa powder. My cocoa is 50% cocoa. Using a spatula, mix these ingredients well. I'll use the mixer again, but I like to fold in the chocolate first to avoid splatters in my kitchen. Stir with a spoon or spatula. This tip is super handy to avoid mess in the kitchen. After lightly mixing, remove the excess from the spatula and get the mixer back. Beat well with the mixer to fully incorporate the cocoa powder. This is the perfect result of the cocoa powder mixed into our whipped cream. The last ingredient in our recipe is sweetened condensed milk. Add 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk to your bowl. I guarantee this ice cream recipe is so delicious that you won't want to buy store-bought anymore. Repeat the process and mix again. The condensed milk not only makes the ice cream sweeter, but also makes the cream smoother, more homogeneous, and shiny. Now, just transfer it to a larger bowl. The texture of the ice cream is so delicious that my mouth is already watering. Now you must make this recipe at home because I'm teaching you a super valuable recipe. A recipe to make at home, simple and super easy. Make it to please your kids because you're going to thank me. My mouth is already watering because the ice cream smells wonderful. A simple and easy recipe to make at home. Did you notice I only used 3 ingredients and made this huge amount of ice cream? Spread it well in your pan. The result is beautiful and so delicious. Make it at home. Freeze for at least 4 hours. Soon I'll show you the result of our ice cream. And here is the result of our ice cream after a few hours in the freezer. I'm going to serve a generous portion. Notice that it stays creamy with a soft texture and doesn't get too hard. I'm narrating, but my mouth is watering. Serve a generous portion for yourself and your family. You can also make it at home and leave it in the freezer overnight. Serve it at lunch, and you'll please your whole family. Now, I'll show you an optional topping. Add strawberry syrup on top. But if you prefer more balanced desserts, just add the ice cream and enjoy. Enjoy this perfect ice cream for your summer, and bon appetit. Shall we eat?
I learned this when I traveled to Italy and had the best chicken of my life. I'm going to start by cutting a chicken breast in half. I bet you'll find this super easy to make. After cutting it, I'll cover it with plastic wrap and pound it well with a kitchen mallet. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Michael Brooks from Austin, Texas. I'm really happy you're enjoying our recipes. Alright, this is perfect. Now I'm going to add wheat flour here in this bowl. You can coat the chicken breast in it. Make sure every side is well covered. It's one of those recipes you try once and never forget. Look how it turns out. In this other bowl, I'll add 2 eggs. And I'll also add 3 cloves of garlic. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and parsley to taste. I'll add half a cup of grated Parmesan. Now I'll mix everything until it's well combined, no rush. This is the perfect recipe for when you want something quick and delicious. There's no secret, just follow the steps. Now you can dip the chicken in here. Besides being delicious, it looks amazing too. This recipe looks beautiful on the table, perfect for surprising guests. I'm going to fry it in a pan with oil. Once it gets a nice golden color, you can flip it to fry the other side. In just a few minutes, you have an incredible meal ready. It's the kind of recipe that saves your day when things get busy. I'll add 1.5 cups of chicken broth, 3 more cloves of garlic, and a bit of parsley. Then 1 tablespoon of butter. You can mix everything slowly. This recipe is exclusive and made for people who love practicality without giving up flavor. It's the kind of dish that turns a simple meal into something unforgettable. I'm going to squeeze half a lime in. I made this yesterday for my friends, and they loved it so much they begged me to come here and teach it to you. Keep mixing. Besides the amazing taste, the final look is wonderful. I'm sure you'll impress everyone at home. Now I can dip the chicken in again. These ingredients together create an explosion of flavor. When you make it, send me a picture. I'd love to see how it turned out. Alright, now I'll place it on a plate. You can spoon some of the mixture over the top. Look how beautiful it is. Exactly how I wanted it. The soft texture is the highlight. Try it at home and tell me how it went. Remember, these exclusive tips you only get here with me. If you're enjoying this, keep an eye on the next videos. The prep is simple, but the result is worthy of a chef. You don't need to spend hours in the kitchen to make an incredible dish. I learned this when I traveled to Italy. The best chicken I've ever had. To start our recipe, we're going to make a cut along the side of a chicken breast and open it up completely. I covered it with plastic wrap, pounded it with a kitchen mallet, and got it to the right thickness to continue. In a bowl, I add 1 cup of wheat flour. Now we coat the chicken breast in the flour on both sides. In another bowl, I add 2 eggs, 4 cloves of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper. To add a special touch, I add parsley to taste. I also add 100 grams of grated Parmesan and mix everything really well. I take the floured chicken breast, dip it into the mixture, and then fry both sides over low heat. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Rachel Morgan from Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Back to our delicious recipe. In the same pan where we fried the chicken breast, we add half a cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of minced garlic. For a fresh citrus flavor, I squeeze in 1 lime. Have you ever tried making a recipe like this at home? Let me know. I'd love to hear. I add parsley to taste. And here's the secret to thickening the broth: 1 tablespoon of butter. I mix it slowly to make sure the butter blends in. Meanwhile, the aroma starts getting stronger. I gently place the chicken breast in the center of the pan. Using a kitchen spoon, I spoon the sauce over the top to cover every part with flavor. The broth is already shining beautifully. A few seconds later, I flip the chicken so it can absorb everything from the other side too. I carefully place the chicken breast on a plate. Then, with a kitchen spoon, I spoon a bit of the broth over it. The aroma filled the room, and the texture was exactly what I was aiming for: golden, moist, and juicy. This is the moment when everything comes together. As soon as I took a bite, I could feel how the crispy outside contrasted with the soft inside. It's the kind of dish that surprises you. At home, I hadn't even finished tasting it, and they were already asking me to make it again. When a recipe works this well, you keep it for life. If you have bananas and eggs in your house, make this recipe for your breakfast. To start, I'll need 2 bananas already peeled, and I'll use a fork to mash them very well, just like this. Once they reach this consistency, I'll transfer them to a large bowl. Now, I'll add 2 eggs to the recipe. To mix the ingredients very well. After that, I'll add 4 tablespoons of oats. This recipe might seem difficult, but it's actually very practical and quick to make. I'll mix the ingredients well in the bowl. Next, I'll add a layer of olive oil to a pan. And I'll spread it very well over the surface of the pan. After that, I'll pour in the banana mixture prepared earlier. And I'll spread it evenly over the pan. I'll cover the pan and let it cook for 5 minutes. After that time, I'll use a plate to flip the recipe over. I'll cover the pan again and let it cook for another 5 minutes. After that time, it's ready. Now, just transfer the recipe to the final dish. I love recipes with bananas. They add so much to any meal. I'll cut a piece and place it on the final plate. The taste of bananas is so good. I love recipes with them. Look how beautiful this recipe turned out. I can't wait to enjoy it. To complement the recipe, I'll add honey to taste. Make it at home and tell me how it turned out. I'd love to hear that you made it and loved it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Thank you so much for watching this video until now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Pineapple dessert I learned from an American chef. To start today's recipe, let's put 7 pieces of pineapple into a pan. I'm sure you'll be surprised with the final result of this dessert. Next, let's put a 1/4 cup of pineapple gelatin in a bowl, and also 1 cup of hot water. I'll mix everything well. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Emily Carter from Boston. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Now I'll add 1 cup of room temperature water. Let's mix again. With just a few everyday ingredients, we can make a dessert much tastier than those sold in traditional restaurants. I make it almost every week. It was the owner of a 5-star restaurant in the US who taught me this recipe. Once our mixture reaches the right consistency, we'll pour it over the pineapple slices we added to the pan earlier. I'll place it in the fridge for about an hour. In a blender, I'll put another 1/4 cup of pineapple gelatin and also 1 cup of hot water. I have no doubt it will become part of your routine, just like it became part of mine. It's very easy to prepare, no reason not to try. I'll add 2 cups of heavy cream. This is the secret to get the perfect consistency, making the dessert creamy and delicious. When I make it at home, there's never anything left. It's simply impossible to eat just 1 piece. After mixing everything very well, we'll pour our mixture with heavy cream over everything. Look how beautiful it's turning out. We'll place it in the fridge for another 90 minutes. With the help of a tray or large plate, we'll remove our recipe from the pan. Besides being beautiful, it also tastes amazing. This is one of the top-selling desserts during hot days in the US. Almost every place has its own version. Try making it to share with your family. I'm sure everyone will love it and even ask where you learned it. If you're someone who, like me, loves refreshing fruit desserts, I'm sure you won't stop making it. If you don't believe me, try it and then come back to tell me your experience. I'd love to know.
I learned this at a restaurant. This is the most flavorful chicken I've ever had. To start our recipe, we're using a whole chicken. I cut it in half like this and open it with my hands to expose the inside. Next, I add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, then I flip the chicken and add again 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, Now I squeeze butter over the top. Using a kitchen brush, I spread the butter all over the chicken. And before I forget, let me know what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Olivia Barnes from Asheville, North Carolina. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. Now in a pan, I add 1 tablespoon of butter. Once it melts, I add 9 cloves of garlic and fry them well. I set the garlic aside. Let me know what you think of the recipe so far. Next, I place the chicken in the pan and sear both sides. I love trying new recipes, and this one is worth every minute. I remove the chicken and place it in a baking dish. In a bowl, we add 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, 1 tablespoon of mustard, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika. I mix everything until it becomes a thick, smooth sauce. Then I brush the whole chicken with this sauce and cover the dish with foil. Now in a pot, we add 500 grams of potato. Add water to cover and let it cook for a few minutes. Meanwhile, I place the chicken in the oven at 356 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. In another pan, I add a drizzle of olive oil, spread sliced onion, and add half a red bell pepper. Sauté everything well. Back to the potatoes. Drain them and add to the sauté. You're going to be amazed by the result. The flavor is incredible. Now I add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and parsley to taste. Sauté everything very well. This will be the perfect side for our delicious chicken. I learned this recipe while working at a 5-star restaurant, and since then, it's been a regular in my home. One of those dishes everyone expects as soon as they smell it cooking.
I learned a genius trick from a friend in Italy that everyone should know. I'll start by cutting 200 grams of cooked pasta into smaller pieces. Now I'll cut 200 grams of mozzarella, first into thick slices, then strips, and finally cubes. In a bowl, I'll add 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and beat well. Tell me, what pasta recipe is the biggest hit in your home? I'd love to hear it. In a bowl, I'll combine the chopped pasta. And before I forget, let me know what city you're watching from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Olivia Bennett from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. A portion of the mozzarella and the egg mixture. And stir everything well. In a pan, I'll fry 200 grams of bacon cut into cubes until golden and crispy. Next, I'll pour in the pasta mixture, spreading it out evenly. Cover the pan and let it fry for about 5 minutes. After that, I'll flip it using a plate. Add the rest of the cheese. I don't know about you, but I love using bacon in pasta recipes. It adds the perfect flavor. Cover again and let it cook for 5 more minutes. Make this recipe at home and come back to tell me what you think. I'm sure you and your whole family will love it. This is such a quick and easy recipe, perfect for those days when you want something fast, and the result is absolutely delicious. Next time you cook chicken, try this easy and delicious recipe. I'll start by adding 3 chicken breasts cut into cubes into 8 whole eggs that are already in the pan. Then, season with 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and mix everything very well to combine. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Emily Johnson from Denver, Colorado. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. Tell me how you usually make chicken at home. I'd love to know your recipe. Now I'll add parsley to taste, 150 grams of shredded mozzarella, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and mix everything well until smooth. Once you cook chicken like this, you won't want to make it any other way, because the result will really impress you. It's very practical and super tasty. Now we can add 3 tablespoons of wheat flour and mix again. Cheese in our recipes is never too much. It gives that special touch my whole family loves. After that, I'll place the pan over low heat, cover, and let it cook for 15 minutes. After this time, I'll flip the recipe with the help of a plate. Then, add 100 grams of shredded mozzarella. I'll cover and let it cook for another 10 minutes, which is just about the time it takes for the cheese to melt. Make it at home and then come back to tell me what you think. I'm sure you'll love it.
Everyone is making fried potatoes like this after seeing this genius idea. To start, we are going to cut 2 potatoes into thin slices using a peeler. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Rachel Miller from Austin, Texas. I'm really happy that you're enjoying our recipes. In a skillet, I'm going to add 100 grams of butter, and we're going to stir until it melts. Trust me, the result is amazing. Next, I'm going to add 1 sliced onion, 100 grams of champignon mushroom, and we're going to start sautéing. Now, I'm going to add the potato slices. We're going to keep sautéing. This is the moment when everything starts to come to life. Next, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper, and we're going to stir a little more. I'm sure this recipe will become a classic in your home. It's impossible to make it just once. After that, I'm going to remove and pour the sauté into a bowl, passing it through a strainer. Every time I get to this part, I remember that cooking isn't just technique, but also the emotion of turning simple ingredients into something special. In another bowl, we're going to add 6 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and with a utensil, I'm going to mix until the ingredients combine. Now, we're going to pour in the sauté we made earlier, and I'm going to keep stirring a little more. I love recipes like this. Simple to prepare, but with a different touch that surprises anyone who tries them. In a skillet, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. We're going to stir until it melts. And next, we're going to carefully pour in our mixture. I'm going to cover it and let it cook for 5 minutes. Right after, with the help of a plate, we're going to flip our recipe to brown the other side as well. Look how amazing it's already turning out. I'm going to add mozzarella on top to taste, spreading it well. This ingredient gives it the special touch it needed. We're going to let it cook for 3 more minutes, or until the cheese melts. And after that, I'm going to remove it and place it on a plate. This recipe earned its place in my kitchen effortlessly. After I made it for the first time, it became impossible not to repeat because the result speaks for itself. Every time I make it at home, someone comments about the smell, about how beautiful it looks on the plate, and even those who don't usually say much end up saying something. And I get it, because it's simple, practical, delicious, and delivers exactly what it promises. Make it at your home too, and tell me what you think. I'd love to know.
Everyone's frying flour now after seeing this genius idea. Let's start by adding 700 grams of chicken wings into a large bowl. Next, we're seasoning them with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 3 tablespoons of mustard, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now mix everything really well so the wings soak up all that flavor. Now I'm covering the bowl with plastic wrap and popping it in the fridge to marinate for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, in a pan, we'll pour enough oil to cover the bottom. Once the oil is hot, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of butter and stirring until it melts. Now I'm adding 1/2 cup of flour to the pan and giving it a good stir. Time to add our chicken wings to the hot oil. Let them fry until they're nice and golden brown. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can give you a big shout out. Today's shout out goes to Rose Angwa Eyita from Uganda. I'm so glad you're enjoying the recipes. I promise once you try it, you won't regret it, and your family will keep asking you to make chicken like this again and again. It's become a total staple in my house. Every time I make it, there's never any left. Look at that golden crust. I've got to show you how amazing these came out. So tell me, how do you usually make chicken at home? I'd love to know your twist. This recipe was such a pleasant surprise. Ever since I learned it, I haven't stopped making it. This chicken turns out crispy on the outside and super juicy on the inside. Absolutely delicious. Hope you're enjoying this one. I'm pretty sure your friends will be asking you for the recipe too.
This is probably the best chicken breast I have ever made. I'll start by cutting a chicken breast in half. I made this preparation very detailed so you can achieve an amazing result in the kitchen. Then, I'll place plastic wrap on top so I can pound it with a meat mallet. Pound it well. You'll see how worth it is to make a recipe like this for dinner. I'll add wheat flour to this bowl here. Now, I'll coat the entire chicken, making sure to cover all sides properly. Tell me from which city you're watching us so I can send you a special greeting. Today's greeting goes to Michael Johnson from New York. I'm happy that you're enjoying our recipes. In a bowl, I'll add 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 3 cloves of garlic chopped, parsley to taste, half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. I'll mix everything well until all the ingredients are perfectly combined. It should have this texture, perfect for the next step. Now, I'll take the chicken breast that I coated and dip it into the mixture. It's really easy to make. If you have any doubts, just follow what I'm doing. It will turn out perfect. Simple, quick, and irresistible. This recipe is perfect for any occasion. Try it at home and let me know what you think. Now it's ready for the next step. I'll add 2 tablespoons of butter. Stir well as it melts. You'll be amazed at how easy it is to create something so delicious and special. Now, it's time to fry it. This is one of those recipes that you make once and never forget. So tasty and practical. When it reaches this golden color, it's perfect. In the same pan, I'll add 1 cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, parsley to taste, 1 tablespoon of butter. Stir well while it cooks. You'll notice the color changes to this beautiful shade. Now, place the chicken in the pan to cook in the sauce. Turn it over so the mixture gets fully absorbed by the chicken. I have to confess, the smell of this dish is incredible. Surprise your family with a wonderful dinner by preparing this amazing recipe. Now, just transfer it to a plate, cut it, and taste this delight. Look at this fantastic appearance. It's perfect. If you look closely, the texture is also very tender. If you're looking for flavor, convenience, and speed, you've just found the best recipe on the internet. This chicken is totally worth making for dinner. It's perfect for gathering the family. If you like this preparation method, you're going to love my next tips. I still have many other secret recipes to share, so stay tuned and don't miss anything.